Since our event today will take place in English, I will say a few introductory words in English. Unfortunately, a great tragedy is happening in the nearby country, in a brother country that is Ukraine. And we have united our forces with our friends from Japan and Turkey to launch a project that can have a positive impact on the whole situation. We are aiming to create an eco-village that would help the refugees and also start planning towards the rebuilding of Ukraine in an eco-friendly, green, and very efficient way. I would like to remind you that this is the first event. The second event will take place tomorrow at 5 p.m. at MediaCore. We will also have a networking session, and everyone is welcome to actually take part and maybe help us together with our friends to achieve our objective. Thank you. Now I will pass word to Rodion, and he will say a few more things. Thank you.
Yes, I'm here. My name is Rodion. I lived in Japan for 18 years until October last year, when I came back in Kishinev because my father left me a house on Pushkin Street, and I have decided to open there a place I'm calling Neo Tokyo Body Mind Transformation Multiplex, which will include 5 sections, all of which will provide techniques for transformation, for human transformation and self-development. I think this is a very important step to do now because of the situation in the world in general Nico describes, and other problems we have basically non-stop. And I would like to put my efforts in creating a stronger link with our soul and with our body, with such techniques like yoga, meditation, visual art, psychoanalysis and philosophy, ecstatic dance or Ankoko Buto, and techno music. These are directions I will be working. I have experience in these fields, so I think I will be able to provide interesting information and inner technologies for this. I share this idea with my Japanese friends, and first of all, they were feeling bad about what's happening at our doors. And they would like, they expressed their desire to participate in these processes, and of course they are willing to help promote what I just mentioned, this necessary connection with nature, for example, and with our spirit, and generate calm mind, and reconnect with silence, inner silence, because it's very important for us, taking into consideration and war, and then before COVID, and basically many problems we have at the moment. So they expressed the desire to come in Moldova and research the possibility of creation future village that Nico just mentioned. I won't take more time because I would like to pass the word to Tero Kurosaki, my old friend, who is officially entrepreneur, but I would like to see him as a community builder. For me, this is the person who is for several decades building very strong communities in Tokyo and Japan, which I had experienced for many years and grew up basically in one of his community. So Tero, I'm passing your word and your presentation. Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Hello, how do you do? And then, sorry, I just cannot speak Russian, but 15 years ago, I came to Moscow and St. Petersburg, where Rodion studied. And then he studied economy, and then more like international things, and he studied in Japan, art curation or contemporary art things. And then since these days, I met his mother and also all those friends in Moscow and then St. Petersburg. And then now, this kind of sad things happening. But I still think, Russian, then Moldova, and then it's kind of good brothers, used to be, and still deep in the mind, still you have a love to each other. So I don't want to say which is good or bad, or I don't care about that so much, but more like a good relationship. Then, so with Rodion, we have really deep relationship with art and then design. And then my life is done like a lot of art event or a lot community we make. So I present to you what I am doing, like maybe 1/3 or 1/4 of the things I did, So I can show you what we're doing, okay? And then, I took over the abandoned kind of village, which only old people are living in Japan, and then 100. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is the moss garden, and then the perception of the moss and then grass lawn are different. So, I went to this moss garden. Right? I cannot. Okay. And then the reason, the theme of me, this presentation is wash out, clean out. And then the reason why there's so much this kind of natural moss garden, it's a shrine. And then because of the shrine yard, people, villagers, clean out every morning. And then to keep this moss alive. And that is the only one condition to keep the moss alive. So I was so much impressed with this shrine yard and the moss garden. Then on the way to moss garden, there's a small village, abandoned village. Only 100 people, old people are living there. And then I start buying all those abandoned houses, and they make a new creation, new village, and then this is a shrine yard, and this is a farm I bought, and then this is a stone quarry where all the stones are made, and then at 2,600 years ago, in this area, the stones which they dig, and then they use as a coin, stone coin. The first Japanese coin, stone coin, are made in this area. And also interesting is this area, farmers' revolution happened, and then farmers conquered this area. Not the samurai or not the authority, more like farmers used to be like anarchist and then not centralized. So nowadays, the people want to do the centralization, and then they, in one sense, the democracy is more like accept the anarchism, and then this centralization or the value or opposite, different kind of values they are taking over. So in this farmland, used to be the center of this. And then this is my study room. And then these, there's some young people I brought, and the young people start living in the farming. And then this area is famous for the ceramics and the lacquerware. And then we make a farm, and then this kind of party, and then make a food, and then in nowadays, almost 30 people are living there, all young people from all over the world, and they're from Denmark or from England, or from America, or all those people. And then, Rodion and then all those kind of foreign people, just they come. And then this is like another, in the same village, we bought this kind of old house, Japanese house, and then converted it into this kind of design and art scene. Then inside the renovation is like this, using all those furniture. I used to have a furniture company and developing all those designers kind of, and creating all those movement of the design. And this is like a warehouse, and the inside is like this, natural wine bar, and then upstairs is a music kind of recording place. And then we have a chicken, this is the chicken houses for chickens. So we have like 60 chickens and then 7 goats, and even the bear around there, we try to feed them to grow. And then, this is bird houses. So, we don't care about the birds or dogs. And we have some dogs, and then this is the stone, and then all those houses, and then these are the cafe, and then we make a furniture farming. So farming, and then in this environment, I was grown up in Tokyo, and I know only the cities, but I was so impressed with the mosque and then all those environment in the village, in the countryside. It's called Takigahara, that area, and then 1 hour by plane and 20 minutes by car from the airport to so maybe 1 hour and 20 minutes from Tokyo, we can come to this village. So this is all the rice stock warehouse, and then we make all those things. So this is stone quarry, and then this whole village used to be the farmers' revolution. So farmers kind of conquered, which I want to present now to the world. And then this is a stone quarry inside. We have a concert like this, and then maybe sooner or later we want to create this kind of concert, and then Woodstock or all those things. So this is the area, the place. So, behind this, I go back to the shrine yard. So in Japan, there's a Shinto, which is very much weak, kind of not strong, not religion, more like attitude to the nature. So, because of this the attitude to the nature, worship the nature, and then respect people, and then accept other religion and the other way of thinking, is most important. And naturally, in Japan, those people are believing in this kind of sacredness of the nature, and this is the symbol of this Shintoism. And then this is a forest with that, and inside the forest there's 8 million goats. So each tree has a goat. It's like it's not like religion, more like attitude to the nature, respect the nature and respect people, and they accept all the religions, and they accept other people's way of thinking. So important thing is just washing out. So all these photos just try to express what they are doing. And then, so since that time, we go back to the business. So we start farmers market in Tokyo, and then this is in front of a United Nations University. At this United Nations University, they are quite okay. Not so much politics. More like we can use this as a marketplace, and then we do a lot of event there, including the dog event or cat event, and then this is all those flower arrangement, all those things in the center of Tokyo. So I want to connect to this natural way of thinking in the countryside, and then this kind of commercial business society things, So this is photos in the farmers market in Tokyo, but it's more like not selling merchandise, more like activity and then movement. So this bread or event or coffee festival or look at those kind of lot of coffee, and this is a peace mark with T. So T for peace. We named the event, and then lot of these kind of design oriented things. So Raw Tokyo is like a second hand like fashions, and then just neighborhood of this kind of United Nations University, like Comte Garçon or Yojiyamoto or Issei Miyake or all those kind of things, whom I know quite well, all those people in person. And then those people come, and then we can create some movement, all those artists or designer or all those people, So also at the same time, I love those people do one good. One in Japan is like a bow wow wow, like a dog bark. Wow. So same word we said one. So with Mr. Iso Takahashi, and then he take over all those do one good. He set up the organization called Do One Good, and then before he started up the exchange of the abandoned, thrown away dog, in Japan, Japanese people are really the very serious, and then like here, and then if there's nobody's looking after the dog, they kill the dogs. So but he tried to exchange the dog, abandoned dog or thrown away dog, to other people, new parents. So this we starting doing this, and then cats too, and then Do One Good. So Do One Good is my best friend is a dog, my best friend is a cat, and then do the good things to the people, do the good things to the cats, do cats good, do dogs good, all those things, So which is more like a love to the nature, love to the animals. So same as like this. So we look after the dog. So we come this time from via Istanbul, and in Istanbul there are so many stray cats and stray dogs. So this Ukrainian war is happening, and the people are refugees, bring the pets, but unfortunately they cannot look after the pets. So we start activity here to look after this refugee people's pets. We don't like to say pets, more like a friend, as like a person. So relationship between the dogs, the cats, and people are similar to the people each other, and similar to the different kind of creatures. So we do this, and then also at the same time in the center of Tokyo, we took over this kind of abandoned building. And then this is called Midoriso. Midori means green. So, there's nobody's looking. looking after this kind of building in the center of Tokyo. And then we just get rent from the owner. Owner is very eccentric and strange person, but we can go on well with those people. And then we renovate this. And then we did make some gallery, and then we made all those exhibition of art. And then this kind of design event from all over the world, the designers. So we do these kind of things at the abandoned house. And then we do these kind of things, and then event, exhibition, all those kind of crazy event we do. And then we have a like working share, so-called share office, but more like working together. So maybe we should make some nice abandoned house, change with Ilgin or, with us, and no many pets or all those books, and then they can stay very cheaply and then can work together to entrepreneurship, to start up some new society, new work for new society, new world, So business will start like this, So I start up this kind of condition, and this is a library where my books, and then we have this 7 different this kind of places all over Tokyo now, and then more into the countryside we want to make. So all those things are happening, and then also we make all those hotel renovation. There's so many this kind of abandoned building. We change like this way, and then we change totally new renovation. In the Western countries, including Tokyo, the hotel is not just for staying like all days, more like a meeting spot, and they create a community. So lobby or people where not only the people who are staying there, all kind of neighbors or anybody can come and have order the coffee and then tea, and then we can do this. This is the entrance, and then there's also gallery there, and then we do that art event there, and then all this situation we are creating, and then this is my kind of business-wise kind of interior design, but different approach to this, working together with the architect or designers. And then this is a restaurant or cafe or all those entrance of the hotel in Shinjuku. And then K5 is also this kind of old bank in Japan. We renovated with Swedish architects, 3 architects, and then we converted, we changed, transformed to this kind of hotel, and then cafe and restaurant and bar. So we do this kind of renovation. And then with Ilgin, we are thinking about anyway, Ilgin's presentation would be next. And then we can show you how we change, what is happening in the center of Tokyo, and the fact we are trying to create. And then not only just the surface of the design or architecture, more into deep, profound, change the culture and the meaning of the art. We are trying to ask, and then we want to present to the world. So, the Chisinau and then Moldova is surrounded by the nature, and then good food, farming. And also there's some abandoned building. I don't know, maybe, must be, yeah? So we can renovate very cheaply, but good design, good art, and good things. And then gathering good people, good entrepreneur, and who not working like a centralization, who is the boss, who is like workers, or no hierarchy, more like a working together kind of feeling. And we want to create dog and people, and then people are already equal, more like anarchists, but not bad ways, kind of good way of the, not decentralization, not centralization, more like a decentralization, anarchy, and then more like a equal people working together activities, which communism you originally tried to aiming at.
Tero, let me interrupt you. I just want to say that it's interesting that your adventure started with the moss.
Yeah.
And moss, in comparison with the tree,
Yeah.
it also shows this decentralized structure. Trees has a center and centralized, and moss is decentralized.
Yeah, yeah.
And that you came through moss and that structures to this.
Yes, that's true. That's right. So we want to create. I learned a lot from moss garden and then forest and then Shinto shrine things. It's good for the contemporary world actually. So people want to deeply appreciate if you come to the moss garden and you come and then she designed a nice bird, chicken, chicken houses and all those things. So farming and also not only just creating this environment, we make a business like a farmers market. And not farmers market is not like a selling department store like a supermarket and selling food. More like a movement. And we do work with like cultural activities. So Tea for Peace, for example, and also many things, which is farming and business-wise, and also at the same time we start up like a renovation of the hotels or renovation of the building, converting into the hotels, and then there are also working spaces. We want to do that, but we are very not the not mainstream, but still trying hard to change to the good way. So this war situation and the COVID situation could be the good chance for us to change. So that's what we all think. That's why we pay and we come here to present today and tomorrow. And then her way of designing the architecture and then his way of relation between animals and people, and the animals each other, people each other. We want to change all those things in a good way. No hierarchy, no center, not who is the boss, who is the president, all those things. More like equally good, and then, but have to be some good discipline. And then art is a god, and then forest, nature, we worship. The nature is a god, And then we respect people, and we respect dogs, animals, and then we respect enemies even, So we just try to do that. He is a rugby player, in Japan kind of top rugby player, and then still is a head coach of some rugby team in the university. But the main activity is like a rugby, and then looking after the dogs and the cats. And then we learn a lot from traveling. This travel, we learn a lot from Turkey, Istanbul things, So anyway, I just want to say, like, wash out. So in Shinto, washing out is more like a ceremony. So there's no religion, no gods in Shinto, like a ceremony, rituals, like a washing hand and the gargles with the water, and then washing right hand side and washing out with the spring, so water. So washing out is a very key of the starting at some new things, okay? And then we pass to the
Thank you so much, Kurosaki-san. I want to introduce myself. I think we don't have too much time, right, Nico? Just 10 minutes. Okay, I will just wrap very quickly about myself. Thank you so much, first of all, to Nico and ArtCore, MediaCore, to organizing this event. We are so happy to be here. I'm an architect and designer. Rodion said that from Turkey, but actually I'm based in Japan, Tokyo. We are like Kurosaki-san, Rodion, and Iso-san. We are meeting in the same mind to be horizontality, like in the nature or in the working system. That's why I have my own office in Tokyo, architecture office. That's why I name my architecture office Plugin Architects, because plugin is a kind of software to enhancing the capabilities if you want to work any program. So that's why I want to enhance the capabilities of the design and architecture, collaborating with many people, many backgrounds. So originally I'm from Istanbul, but I studied in Milan, Italy, my degree, architecture, and I'm activist also. That's why we are meeting in the same background with you, to be sensitive to what's happening in the Ukraine. I want to introduce about my practices, what we are mean about reconstruction or rehabilitation of the environment. Because in Ukraine now it's a war place and many structures are wounded as much as people. So we are targeting to rehabilitate the buildings as much as it rehabilitates the human's mind. And is not about the name of my company, but Plugin is a kind of go back to 60s and 70s, which is like architecture movement. It is about the mobility and metabolism, which is adaptable and changeable, responding to the conditions such as nature. That's why I propose a renovation system, which is instead of infill type, plug-in type. So we don't touch the structure, but instead we are inserting some units as a space inside of the absolute structures. Here may be like a stroke image to give you an idea what our initiatives. For example, like ruins, like stone ruins, to inserting simple wooden units inside. It can turn, it can rehabilitate the building stock and gain it to use as a space. Here is the stone house, for example. This is like Victorian walls, just the ruin is stayed, and then it is inserted units inside and become a new space. Then I go back to my initiatives. As I told you that my background also Milano, and Milano, there is an activist art group. They are using this empty abandoned building, which is Macao Milano. Maybe you heard about it. It's a quite big organization, independent artists. And this is a former slaughterhouse, actually, belonged to government. But government is not using it. That's why it is occupied by artists. Since building is not belong to artists, they are not able to touch the building to change. They cannot make a renovation inside. So there are many events, there are many meetings, but they need to activate the space with some space-making designs. That's why I organize a workshop, which is called like a renovation of the Macao, Galactic Guide for New Institution, we call it. And then we say rehabilitation, rehab, I call it. I shortcut it and I say like a rehab. Time to time, I'm like teaching in a university. So this project, I work with Politecnico di Milano students. So we propose with the students to small furnitures to helping the space helping turning the space for using any kind of events. So students here design some units, mobile units, for using any kind of art events. I wish I could speak more about that, but I will go fast. And I also mind to use hand-making DIY system. Especially when I'm teaching and making workshops, I propose the students to design and then make, especially working with the woods. This is a small initiatives to activate the Macao Milano. Then we go back to bigger scale. This is Fukuoka, Japan. It is a renovation of the 6 building stocks. It's like a huge residence, all residence. It's an international competition and it is awarded project as a second place out of 200 projects. I'm very happy that because this project jury was all Japanese, and they take care of the renovation proposal, because most of the projects propose to destroy all the buildings and then make new ones, but just our project was keep the existing structure and instead inserting small units, small living spaces to rehabilitate the building stocks. In that sense, because we were like struck by the COVID, and this project designed during the Corona, here we see that it's like a huge building stocks, and then we say, here we can see the first level, we can see the building stocks, and we added like a farm and green area, and then plus huts, and we call it Huts Village. And when we, it's not just inserting a units inside, but we propose a new system of life. That's why in the beginning I say like enhancing abilities. Why not dividing a house into small units and then spreading around the area? And when we are talking about the house, you have many units around the building, and you walk through each other. So it might be like many combinations, many programs. Here we can see some images about that. It's important that it is responding people's conditions and their desire. For example, when you buy a house, like it's maybe 3 bedroom and 1 living room, and it's like a finish, right? You cannot make it large. But here, you can buy 2 cabins, and then you can add it more. So that's why it's flexible. And then we vision that why not inserting them with drones? We dream it because it was a competition. That's why we got the second prize, because it's a kind of dream. And then we see that all city, instead of demolishing, keeping the existing structure and then rehabilitate them. Then we propose, what about creating a simple structure, and then again creating a village, inserting different spaces, which is a democracy of the building design, we call, instead of creating a boring one monolith design. What about just the structure, going back to Le Corbusier's domino structure system, and then inserting different units. And this is a project, it's a new building project. It's a hotel, it's a one competition again in Fukuoka, 2020. We proposed a new life for hotel. We said that hotels, it's an Airbnb hotel, the first Airbnb hotel in the world actually proposed. So we said, what about creating a village? And then it's a vertical village in the city, and then it has a small streets in between the units, and then hotel become small apartments, small buildings actually. This is because since I have different backgrounds, I give the reference of the Mediterranean small streets, which is opening the sea. So this is another project. Here the layout. And I want to go back to Tagihara Farm. Because we respect the nature and then we think that we live together. We don't divide that. We are human, they are animals. So we just only design by human. No, like we design for everything. So here it's again our workshop initiative that with the students. So I want them to make DIY structure system, which I so mind for the small scale architecture. We design a structure system which can be like a prepared by pre-cut plywood and assemble on the site. Here that you can see students are just assembling the units, a shelf structure system which we invented, and then they carry by their hands to build a space. And then some bigger spaces we use the crane. Pieces we use the crane, and then we create a space for chickens. This is like experimenting for the small structure. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
And then Isso-san is like a rugby community club union where we are trying to make the rugby mecca of rugby in the center of the place. And then Isso-san, maybe in Japanese, maybe you can
I can
talk.
translate.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you translate.
I'm sorry, I
That's
cannot speak English very well. But
訳します。
何だったっけ、犬がそれまで40万匹だったっけ。
Сколько ты спас? How many dogs have you
1
saved?
日に1000の犬と猫が処分されてました。殺されて
殺処分、殺されてたの。
So
保健所で。
in one day, 1,000 dogs and cats were killed per day.
Yeah.
Yeah, per day, each
15年前。
15 years ago.
うん
そうそれを知ってこの活動をスタートさせて
And when I found out about it, I started my activity.
今は、10分の1になりました。
Now it became 10% of what was 15 years ago.
Yeah. Still some abandoned kind of dog and cats are killed. But
少なくなって、譲渡アダプションイベントをたくさんファーマーズマーケットでやっています今。
And we're doing adoption events at farmers market.
adoption dogs at the farmers market would work together.
日本は少しずつ変わって良くなってはいるんですけど、
And it's becoming better now in Japan.
そうまだまだ、殺されている犬や猫がいるので、少しもうちょっと頑張りたいなと思ってます。
But I will do my best until there won't be any dogs being killed.
そう僕は、日本は自然災害が多くって、地震とか豪雨雨とか、で避難所リフュージに犬や猫を連れて行くことができないので僕たちが預かったり
When we have catastrophes like tsunami or earthquake, people can't take animals with them, so we are taking them instead.
そうなので東京から東日本、岩手、宮城、福島、あと熊本、広島いろんなところに災害があるたんびに僕が、行って、地域のコミュニティを使って彼らをサポートしてます。
So I go to the places which were damaged after the catastrophes, and I organize local communities so they help abandoned or left dogs in the house.
Straight cats or dogs. So now is the time to rescue the refugee dogs, and then there are so many dogs are killed, and then no food, and then in Ukraine, so there's so many refugees here from Ukraine, and they brought pets, but still not so many people are looking after the dogs. So we are trying to make the movement.
そう僕は言葉があまり喋れないんですけど、どこの国に行っても犬と猫とは 喋れるので、そこで活躍すると思います。
I don't talk much, but I'm preferring to talk with animals and cats. And dogs
He
and
can
cats.
speak animals languages.
Okay, thank you so much, Nico.
Thanks so much. That was very informative, nice, and heartwarming. As you can see, we are trying to find simple but elegant solutions to a very complicated and complex problem. Thank you very much for your presentations. We would like to continue talking about this topic. We would like to discuss some more tomorrow at MediaCore at 5 p.m. Please join us for the continuation of the presentations and also for a round of networking if you want to talk to our invitees from Japan. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you.